Let me try again. Can you hear me? Yes, there we go. Okay, now we're on. So we had a little coordination issue to figure out what to help you with and how to get there. And I guess, well, my first questions I wanted, last week was kind of interesting, but I believe all of you have now a almost assembled or actually an assembled rover. I want to know who of you made the rover actually move. Let's do the same game again. Go to the chat window, click on the chat at the bottom of your screen, and just put a yes there when if your rover has moved. There we go. All right. So it was interesting, but either the rover is assembled or it actually has moved already. And today's task is to actually find the control of motion of the rover. But before I want to get there, I want to go all the way back. Remember last Wednesday when we started, I talked about perseverance, about that rover NASA sends to Mars at the end of July. And for this, I would like to share a short YouTube video. And hopefully I can do this. Wait, I need to share my screen. Which window? Don't know. Okay, if you can make my screen big, and can you hear?
To do the hard things, to overcome the many challenges. This is what brings out the best in us.
We are goal for a mission to the moon.
Our path has led to success and to bitter losses.
We come together today to mourn the loss of 7 brave Americans.
Yet, even when faced with tragedy and setbacks, we persevere. We keep striving. We keep believing. From space, we see our planet as a whole. We see the challenges facing, and we face those challenges together. We will not give up. We challenge convention. We refuse to accept the status quo. The time at hand is hard, but we will persevere. We can still draw hope from the moon and the stars, from space, from exploration. There is a new day beyond the challenges we face now.
Curiosity, insight, spirit, opportunity. If you think about it, all of these names of past Mars rovers are qualities we possess as humans.
10, 9, we have mission sequence start.
But if rovers are to be the qualities of us as a race, we miss the most important thing.
3, 2,
Perseverance.
launch commenced. Liftoff. We have liftoff.
We are a species of explorers. We will meet many obstacles on our way to Mars. But as humans, will not give up. We will always persevere.
So did you hear the sound? Yes, you did? Okay, good. It was about perseverance, and it was about perseverance that rover which will go to Mars, but it was also about perseverance in a mission to do something and to succeed. And like an engineer who tries something, it not always goes right. Things may break, or you assembled the motor bit upside down, and what you do is, once you figured it out, it's upside down, you take it off again and you put it on in the correct way. If you keep doing this, if you practice your intention to persevere, you will not only make the rover go, you actually will control the motor, and you will programming it in a way that it actually becomes smart, a little smart. I will talk about it being smart tomorrow, but you will get there, and this is Monday, and this is where we start. In the next few days, we will actually make the rover move intelligently. But if you have a break today, Google, and I will put up the link, Google up Perseverance NASA YouTube, and you find that video. The video after that is a longer video about the journey to Mars. You may be interested in why make human beings rovers. And of course, rovers are made for all kinds of purposes, and we're only focusing on our rover and maybe a little bit on the rover which goes to Mars. But that has more to do with you than you think. I had one student 3 years ago, and he was a student in my physics class, and you could be a student in my physics class in a few years. And that student applied at NASA for an internship, and he was kind of saying, well, I'm from the country of North Florida, I may not get accepted. And it was about designing the next mission to Mars, the next manned mission to Mars, which is way in the future. And he got accepted. And that student got paid to travel to NASA, to the Space Center in Alabama, in Huntsville, Alabama, and he worked there together with NASA engineers and astronauts, and he visited the facilities. He had a great opportunity, everything paid for by NASA, and he had a great experience to see actually what we all watch only on TV or on YouTube. He saw it in real. So I will post the link later, and if you have time, watch the video. The video is 42 minutes long. It's not too long. So to succeed, there is one important thing which may lead to frustration, and this is the stem cells extension. Who knows what I'm talking about? Raise your hand. Don't know? Okay. Let me share my screen again. Never figure out how to do this. Share screen. Go again here. What you see on the screen is the make code coding page, which you know already. But I want to point out in the list of where you get the blocks from now on, always check. Of course, you always have basic. This is where you get the show number from. The input, where did you do already buttons? Yes, you did buttons, where you get the button A pressed block. And there are LEDs, which you also have done. Check every time that there is a stem cells, it's called an extension right here. That stem cells extension provides you the block you need to make the stem seals rover move. There are many ways, there are multiple ways of making the rover move, and you need that drive wheels with speed and steer block. From now on, this is what we're going to use. So look out for this. The link is, Laura, can I ask you to
Sure.
guide you to the link?
Okay, so do you want me to just tell you where to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me,
So go into the classroom.
wait a minute, I need to unmute.
Laura, you're muted.
Okay.
I need to unmute it, I don't know
I'm scared if I,
where to do that.
like I can hear myself, but I'm scared if I unmute it. will-
Okay.
Stop sharing, and I'll share mine. Okay, so gonna go here. If you were in the classroom, let me hit share. Can't see that yet. If you're in the classroom, and some of you have already asked about this, and I actually have a tutorial video I will add in this in this section, as well as I'll put it on the stream. In 3.3, in making the rover move, after you assembled the rover, in that assignment, you will see the template right here. So that's the first time that you actually use it. And so my handy tip is this, and you'll see it in the video. It opens up in what looks like a make code editor, but it's not yours. It is a saved or published or shared or published project. And it looks like there's nothing different there. You see it on start and a forever block. But when you hit edit, it will then open into your make code browser on your device. I highly recommend you just leave it and don't start working on it yet. And remember, it will automatically save on your home page. So if you go back to your home page, and I probably have a couple of saved now, it will automatically be saved there. So how do you use that without overriding that template? And it's the same thing with all your other programs. Propulsion is the first one you're going to do. So how do you save something? You want to save it on your USB as well, because if you're working on your teacher's device or a borrowed device, when you go home and you want to pull this out, if you haven't saved it on your own USB, you're not going to have these, because remember, they saved to your device. But how do you use a program that you've got saved on your home page, but you don't want to change it? Because if I go into this template and I start writing on it and I name it propulsion, I then no longer have template 2 unless I've left it alone on my home page. So the way to do this is you can actually click view all, and you can see all of your programs. I've got template 2 on here. I was showing a couple of people last week. Actually, I have it probably on here 4 times, but you click on the template 2, and then up in the light blue bar, it will give you a choice. You can open it and use it. You can duplicate it, or you can delete it. So if you hit duplicate, now it's going to ask you to rename that project. So this is where I'm going to rename it Propulsion. And it's going to now duplicate it without changing that template. So that template will always be available on your device in your home page. Now we have one called Propulsion that I've not done any coding in yet. I can click on it and hit open. And I'm ready to start coding. And what makes us unique, remember, are these stem cells blocks that are right here, and you will have to have them for all your coding. Now, when you get done with Propulsion, you're going to have that on your home page. You want to do the same thing, go into view all. If you save it to your USB, you can import it from there as well. I highly recommend you just save in there just so you have it. But this is a simple way to use it. So now if I want to use Propulsion, once I do all the coding, I go back to home, view all, click on Propulsion, duplicate it, and the next one is going to be called Propulsion, or it's we've changed the name. I think it's Propulsion Test, but if whatever the card tells you to name it, you can certainly name it whatever you want. That's fine. We have multiple people working on one device, I highly recommend that if you're coding and your teacher mentor is coding or whatever, you can put your initials at the beginning, such as LS propulsion test, so that you know it's yours and not your partners that might be coding as well. So that's my tip on that. I'll post a little video on it so you'll have that.
Oh, thank you, Laura. The second thing I wanted to talk about
I'm gonna mute
is
myself when
if you doubt that something is broken, can you stop sharing that I
Yeah,
can?
hold on a second. I couldn't find my screen.
Okay, there we go. If you doubt that something is broken with the motors, either the motor or a motor or the motor bit, there is an easy test you can do. You know already there are two leads, a yellow and a gray lead to each one of the motors, and you see I have an extra motor here. You can untie the leads of the motor you think is broken, and you can connect it directly to two battery points. And I pick those two here in the front of the motor because they just are easy to accessible. And if I connect one there, it doesn't really matter which one is which. And if I do this, then the motor will turn. If you reverse, if I exchange them, the motor should return in the other direction. So now I know not only that the batteries are good, I also know that this motor works, and this way you can test both motors without using the motor bit. Any questions? Not at this moment? Then Chris, would you like to guide us through what's going to happen today? Sure. Let me mute myself.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. Yes, okay, good. So hopefully, again, most of you have your rovers assembled, and by this time also you become familiar with the microbit. That's actually the introduction for the microbit is before the assembly modules. And hopefully, at least at some point today, you will move into module 4. And module 4 has a lot of programming involved. But the good thing is, like we've been saying for the past couple of days, what you can do is you can take a pre-existing program that you've generated and use that as a template and just add blocks into that template to create your new program. And in turn, that will facilitate the addition of new capabilities to your rover. So some of the things that we'll do is program your rover to turn, to spin. So spinning is basically turning, but it's turning on a dime, if you will. And then we'll also continue to program moving your rover forward and in a reverse direction. Some of the programs you'll do are to code a remote microbit card so that you can control your rover without pressing the physical buttons on the microbit on your rover. So there will be a program that you create and put on the microbit of your rover. And then the other half of the program to make the whole thing function is going to be on your remote control microbit. You'll also create a program to control your rover head. And again, your rover head is this part right here, right? This big black plastic piece that's attached to your servo, and attached to the mount of the rover head is a sonar. And that sonar is used in subsequent programs to help your rover detect objects in front of it. So when we do an obstacle avoidance program, your rover actually is able to detect, or, well, you may say see, but it actually detects an object ahead of it and will actually avoid it once as it's moving forward. The third thing that you'll do is a steering and speed program, and you'll actually record your results from steering and speed on a table in the back of module 4. And the information here will be used by you in the future as you go through your challenge and go through the competition. So it's really important to follow the instructions there and record your data there now, once you completed that, as soon as you completed that series of tests, because you'll be drawing on that information later on in module 5 and also in the competition. Again, like Laura and Dr. Maresh have said, it's very important when you go in and you open up your make code program that you have the stem seals extensions in there. And I will say the relevance of the importance there is that I didn't realize that when I began this project, and I spent probably 45 or 50 minutes unsuccessfully trying to do the coding that was asked for in the module, and basically had to go to Dr. Maresh, and he said, "Oh, don't you know about these extensions here?" And it's just a matter of a click and a drag, and you can successfully complete that portion of the programming. So does anyone have any questions at this point in time? No, if you don't, or you do, and you don't want to ask them right now, send us an email, or you can text us. You can PM us individually on your chat, and we'll be happy to help you out.
Happy coding.
Yeah, happy coding.
Okay, see you later.
Hey,
Okay, I think I have everybody here. I think I have all your paperwork and needs. By the way, we have Samuel Kennedy, who is new with us. He is a dynamo on this. He caught up over the weekend. He was a late joiner. And so Samuel, good job, and glad to have you with us. And one other thing, I'm going to share my screen. I do want to show you when you get into, this was one of the questions we had last week. Hang on. Oh, well, I'll just drag my screen over. I just shared the wrong side. Okay. Nope, I didn't. Okay, so let me go into a program. One of the things that you have to pay attention when you're doing logic statements, and this is going to be in module 4. So we had one group that made it to module 4, and it was a little tricky, and it's in the logic statements. So these are the conditionals. There's a video, I don't know, and it was optional, but when you do a conditional and you do these logics, if you need more open areas, you click on them, such as this. Okay, to add, you can always take away if you get too many, but to get this little hexagon here, you have to open up more than one. The last one won't have one. So sometimes you have to open it to put that statement in there and then get rid of it, such as that. Another tricky thing is when you get ready to create a remote control, it's going to ask you to put the letter S in a comparison. The comparisons are the ones that say equal to, greater than, less than, and normally you put numbers in there, or you can put variables in there, but you're going to have to put a letter in one of them, in one of the programs. So you want to make sure you grab the one that has the quotation marks, because I cannot put a letter in here. It will let me type numbers, but it will, but it's not going to stay. So if you have to put, and you will put the letter S or the letter T, it will only say stay if you use the ones with the quotations. Oh, this is another thing, and you've probably already experienced this. If you do something wrong, your code will highlight in, it looks sort of orange here, but I think it's red, so that it tells you that there's a mistake. Okay, so you can start looking before you download that. But those were some of the questions we had last week, so just kind of wanted to show you that. logic statements can be a little tricky, and the coding will get a little more difficult as you move along. If you get stuck, please just Zoom us, and it's the same Zoom link this week. You obviously have all found it. I will post that again, and we will post this morning meeting for anybody that missed, but obviously you're here, so you didn't miss it. But we'll post that again in case you want to go back and watch it. You guys all have a wonderful week. Those of you that have sent in with individual problems, we'll start contacting you here, see if we can't set up a time to either bring you parts and pieces or get you what you need this morning. Happy coding and have a great day.
I'm glad you guys said the thing with the copy, because I was about to finish my remote control. I was on like the last few pieces, and I was like, where are these blocks? I can't find them anywhere. And I've spent like 20 minutes looking for them, and Mom was like, are they? Oh, they're from the stem seals.
Very good. Well, now you know. Oh, now you know.
Huh? Bye.
Any more questions or comments before we leave? All right, y'all have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you, Miss Sa. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, and with this, I can't see it. This and
Samuel, yeah.
that this and the long connector for the sonar thing. Can you just? This is probably a stupid question, but can you like just yank the pins out of this end to
No.
make it a different other?
No, you can't take the pins. So
I
when
told
you
you.
connect the two together, you connect the male into one of the female parts. One end you ended up with male, and one end you at the
Yeah.
long extension. So you
Yeah.
okay. All right. So
The
you
short
ended
one's
up
fine, but like the long one needs to be a female to female.
okay. Yeah. Okay. So we will get that to you. You will have you started in module 3 yet with propulsion?
I
know you
have
put the
started.
rover together.
I've already put it together, and I've been working on just driving it,
Okay.
just moving it forward and backward and stuff. I told you couldn't do that. My mom's right next to me, and yeah, I've put it together, and I'm probably about to do that. Well, I forgot the name of that video sharing.
Okay.
So what's the Flipgrid?
Flipgrid.
I'm about to do the
Yeah.
Flipgrid, yeah.
So Samuel, you actually do not need that sonar until you actually get to module 5 in navigation.
Alright.
You're going to use the servo motor, which you can hook up to set the head straight in module 4 in steering. So we will get you that part. I know that later this afternoon, Dr. Moresh will be headed back towards Monticello. Maybe we can carry it then, or we will be here all day, obviously, but I hate for you to come all this way, but we will get you the part you need hopefully before you need it. Okay, so let me check with them, and we'll kind of get that figured out. And but you got your motor bit, and I'm glad about that. So you were able to set all that up. So if you get stuck on anything, just get with us. Now you have that Zoom link. That's the Zoom link. We actually are here until 5 o'clock this afternoon. So if you have any issues, all you have to do is click on that Zoom link, and you're in our live classroom.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Any other questions this morning? We're so glad you were able to join us on such a late notice. I hope that you are enjoying it.
I'm glad I got the opportunity to do it.
Awesome.
There's some problems with Google Classroom.
Google Classroom. What? Oh, module 4 and 5 aren't up for me yet.
Okay, I'll open them for you. Yeah, actually, I haven't opened module 5 for anybody because I kind of wait till I see where everybody is, but I'll go ahead and open up module 4 for you.
All right.
All right. Thank you so much, Samuel.
Thank you.
Another question?
Oh, the Zoom thing wasn't on the. Oh, it is. Wait.
It is. It's just farther down.
The same link each day.
Yeah, it's the same link each day. And then we post the the
Okay.
Zoom meeting after we record it. But the Zoom link is the same. And I honestly, I did not post it yet this morning. I usually will send out the night before or that late in the afternoon. Hey, don't forget to join us at 9 o'clock. So I apologize for you getting that late.
I thought I didn't know it was the same link each day. I
Yes,
saw
it's the
it had.
same link and it's the same one for this. So anytime you need help, all you do is click on it and you're in our virtual classroom as well.
All right. Thank y'all.
You're welcome.
Thank you. All right. See y'all.